Hello, my dear students. Welcome to chemistry class. So today in this video, we are going to discuss about phosphorus pentachloride, phosphorus pentachloride. So phosphorus pentachloride, the preparation. So we will discuss about the preparation, properties and uses of phosphorus pentachloride. Also, we will discuss about the structure of oxides and oxacids of phosphorus. Okay, so first we will see about the preparation, properties and uses of phosphorus pentachloride. Then after that we will discuss about structure of oxides and oxacids of phosphorus. Okay, so first one, the preparation of phosphorus pentachloride. Normally the formula of phosphorus pentachloride is PCl5. PCl5. This is the formula of phosphorus. Penta means 5 chloride. Okay. So first one, preparation. Preparation actually when phosphorus trichloride, the formula is 3, PCl3 is treated with excess of chlorine. So when phosphorus trichloride is treated with excess of chlorine, we will get phosphorus pentachloride. Phosphorus pentachloride, that is PCl5. Look at the equation, phosphorus trichloride PCl3 plus chlorine, excess of chlorine, that is Cl2, we will get PCl5. 2 chlorine, 3 chlorine, total 5 chlorine are that. Okay, so this is the method of preparation of phosphorus pentachloride. So phosphorus trichloride is treated with excess of chlorine, that's all. So we will get phosphorus pentachloride. Clear? Second one is properties. Properties, that is chemical properties. Okay, so chemical properties, that first property is on heating phosphorus pentachloride. So on heating PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride, it decomposes to phosphorus trichloride, that is PCl3, and chlorine plus chlorine. So on heating PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride, we will get phosphorus trichloride and chlorine. See the equation, PCl5. Actually it in the textbook it is given in the reverse. So heating, it is in the gaseous state, we will get PCl3. This is the gas, also chlorine gas. So this is the decomposition. So actually on heating PCl5, this PCl5 it decomposes, that means it breaks to PCl3 and chlorine. So this is the first chemical properties of PCl5. Second property, that is phosphorus pentachloride, that is PCl5, reacts with water, that means H2O. First it will give phosphoryl chloride. To give phosphoryl, okay, ryl chloride and orthophosphoric acid. Then later it will give orthophosphoric acid. Okay, we will see the equation one by one. So, when PCl5 reacts with water, it will produce phosphoryl chloride, this phosphoryl chloride, and orthophosphoric acid. PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride plus H2O, it will produce phosphoryl chloride, POCl3. This is phosphoryl chloride plus HCl. Okay, balance the equation, put 2 here. Now the equation is balanced. Okay, actually this is phosphoryl chloride. This is phosphoryl okay, POCl3 is phosphoryl chloride plus HCl. Then after that, this POCl3 again combines with water, that is phosphoryl chloride again combines with water, it will produce orthophosphoric acid, that is H3PO4 plus HCl. Okay, now balance the equation. Then here 3, 4 is there, put 3 here, here also put 3. Now the equation is balanced. Okay, now we are going to write overall equation, overall reaction. Actually, when PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride, reacts with water, we will get orthophosphoric acid, but it takes place in 2 steps. Okay, first it will produce phosphoryl chloride, then again this phosphoryl chloride react with water, we will get orthophosphoric acid. This is orthophosphoric acid, orthophosphoric acid. Now we are going to see the overall reaction. PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride plus H2O, we will get orthophosphoric acid, that is H3PO4 plus HCl, hydrochloric acid. Okay, now balance the equation, put 4 here, then here put 5. Okay, so 8 hydrogen, here also 8 hydrogen. So now the equation is balanced. Okay, so this is the overall reaction. This phosphorus pentachloride reacts with metal to give metal chlorides. That is another reaction. That is the third reaction. The third reaction, phosphorus chloride, that is PCl5, reacts with metal, with metals, there is silver Ag, then tin Sn. It will produce metal chlorides. Metal chlorides. Okay. It also reacts with organic compounds similarly to PCl3. Also react with organic compounds. Okay, so PCl5 reacts with metals, it will produce metal chloride. Also it reacts with organic compounds, so these organic compounds will chlorinated by this PCl5. We will see the reaction. So in the first reaction, PCl5 react with silver, we will get silver chloride AgCl plus PCl3. Okay, now balance the equation, put 2 here, then put 2 here, here put 2. So now this equation is balanced. Now here also put 2. Now the equation is balanced. Okay, then second Sn plus PCl5, we will get SnCl4 plus PCl3. Balance the equation, put 4 here, then here also put 4. Now the equation is balanced. Check, you can see whether it is balanced or not. Okay, so we are getting the corresponding metal chlorides. PCl5 plus Ag, we will get AgCl. Sn plus PCl5, we will get SnCl4. Then the remaining compound is PCl3, that is phosphorus trichloride. Then also this PCl5 chlorinates the organic compounds. Organic compounds examples are alcohol and acids. So C2H5OH, this is ethyl alcohol, plus PCl5, we will get C2H5Cl plus HCl. Also it will produce phosphoryl chloride, POCl3. One more compound, that is organic compound, that is C2H5COOH. This is acid, organic acid, reacting with PCl5 to produce that. See here, this OH is removed. So this OH is replaced by Cl. So C2H5COCl plus HCl plus POCl3. Okay, see here, this OH is removed. It is replaced by chlorine. So we are getting the product of, that is chlorinated organic compounds. Okay, so that's all about the chemical properties of PCl5. So first we studied about the preparation, that is when PCl3 is treated with excess of chlorine, we are getting phosphorus pentachloride, PCl5. Then second, that is chemical properties. There are 3 important chemical properties. First one is decomposition reaction of PCl5. So on heating this PCl5, it breaks into PCl3 and chlorine. Second, that is PCl5 reacts with water to produce orthophosphoric acid. So it takes place in 2 steps. First it will produce phosphoryl chloride, then later it will produce orthophosphoric acid. Then third chemical properties, that is PCl5 reacts with metal, it will produce metal chlorides. Also PCl5 chlorinates the organic compounds. Okay, so the OH group will be removed and replaced by chlorine. So we are getting chlorinated organic compounds. Okay, so that's all about the chemical properties of phosphorus pentachloride. Next one, uses of phosphorus pentachloride. Next one is uses. Uses of PCl5. So the first use, it is the chlorinating agent. So mainly used in the industrial purpose. See the organic compound here, it is chlorinated, so it is used as the chlorinating agent. Second use, so it is very useful for replacing hydroxyl group that is OH, hydroxyl group, that is OH group. Okay, so by chlorine atom. Okay, so there are two important uses. One is chlorinating agent and used to replace hydroxyl group by chlorine atom. Okay, so that's all about phosphorus pentachloride. Now we are going to see about structure of oxides and oxacids of phosphorus. So structure of oxides and oxacids of phosphorus. Okay. So generally phosphorus forms three types of oxides. Phosphorus forms three types of oxides. One is phosphorus trioxide. Another one is phosphorus tetroxide. Then third one is phosphorus pentoxide. Okay. So tri means 3, tetra means 4, then penta means 5. Okay. Sorry, pentaoxide. This is tetra A oxide, trioxide. Okay. 3, 4, 5. Now phosphorus we are writing generally P2O3. This is phosphorus pentoxide. Then phosphorus tetroxide P2O4. Then phosphorus pentoxide, this is P2O5. Usually this phosphorus, all the oxides of phosphorus, they are dimers. So dimers, it means dimer. It means that compound will be multiplied by 2. Okay, compound will be multiplied by 2. That is called dimers. So phosphorus trioxide, then multiply by 2. This also multiply by 2. This also multiply by 2. So finally we will get P2O3 into 2, we will get P2O6. Okay. Then P2O4 into 2, we will get P4O6, P4O8. Then P2O5 into 2, we will get P4O10. So these are the correct formula for the phosphorus trioxide. There is P4O6, this is P4O8, and this is P410. Okay. Now we will see the structure of phosphorus trioxide. First we will discuss about the structure of phosphorus trioxide. So now the structure of phosphorus trioxide. Structure of P2O3. So we are writing that is P4O6 because this is dimer. Okay. So P4O6. So this formula will be multiplied by 2. We will get P4O6. To draw the structure, first point, so in phosphorus trioxide, 4 phosphorus atoms lie at the corners of a tetrahedron and 6 oxygen atoms along the edges. Okay. So that 4 phosphorus atoms lie at the corners of the tetrahedron. So draw means write the 4 phosphorus atoms, 1 phosphorus atom, here 1 phosphorus atom, then straight here this corner 1 phosphorus atom, and opposite of this top phosphorus atom, here don't put this phosphorus here, just move left and put phosphorus atom here. So this horizontal must be straight line, and this vertical, this 2 phosphorus atom it must not be straight but slight left side. The bottom phosphorus should be slight left hand side. Okay, அதாவது இந்த 4 பாஸ்பரஸ் ஆட்டத்தை ஃபஸ்ட்டு இந்த 2 பாஸ்பரஸ் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டாக வரைஞ்சிக்கோங்க. அடுத்து இந்த பாஸ்பரஸை இதுக்கு நேராக வரையாமல் கொஞ்சம் லெஃப்ட் சைடு போட்டுக்கோங்க. ஸோ அப்போ தான் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் உங்களுக்கு கரெக்டாக வரும். ஓகே, now next make a bond between these 4 phosphorus here, then here, then here, then here, then here. So this is tetrahedral shape. Tetrahedral shape, they see here. So the 4 phosphorus atom lie at the corners. These are the corners. Okay, corners of a tetrahedron. This is a tetrahedral shape. Okay, now the remaining 6 oxygen atoms along the edges. So these are the edges. Okay, see here, these are the edges. So we are going to draw the oxygen atom on the edges. Okay, okay, now listen carefully. I am going to draw the structure of phosphorus trioxide. See, so phosphorus, here one phosphorus, here one phosphorus, then here one phosphorus. Okay, now oxygen atom I am going to draw on the edges. So put one oxygen atom here. So between these 2 phosphorus, here also put one oxygen atom. See, actually it is very easy to draw the structure of phosphorus trioxide. Follow this method, it will be very easy for you. Then between these 2 phosphorus, one oxygen atom. Then between these 2 phosphorus, another oxygen atom. So total 1, 2, 3, 4. So remaining 2 more oxygen atoms are there. See, one oxygen atom between these 2, another oxygen atom between these 2, another oxygen atom between these 2, and one more oxygen atom between these 2. Now between this and this, okay, this phosphorus atom, this phosphorus atom, I am going to draw the oxygen atom here. Now look at this phosphorus atom, this phosphorus atom, I am going to draw oxygen atom here. Okay, now 6 oxygen atoms, see here, I placed here. Now make a link and make phosphorus oxygen phosphorus link. Okay, see, first make a link phosphorus oxygen phosphorus. Now this one phosphorus oxygen phosphorus, and now phosphorus oxygen phosphorus, now phosphorus oxygen phosphorus. Clear? And make it little straight. Now between these 2 phosphorus make bond, here also one bond. Okay, now here one bond, then here one bond. Okay, now hope it is very clear. So this is the exact shape you can see in the textbook. So phosphorus, there are 4 phosphorus atom and 6 oxygen atom. Now see that second point, the phosphorus oxygen distance, that is this distance. Okay, this is 165.6 picometer. So the distance between PO bond, that is 165.6 picometer. So the PO distance, bond distance, is 165.6 pm. Okay, actually normally generally that phosphorus oxygen bond distance, it must be 184 pm, but here you see 165.6 pm. So it is shorter than the actual bond distance. Okay, so the reason is actually, so it is shorter than PO, that is 184 pm, This is due to P by and D by, actually in the phosphorus there is p orbital and in the oxygen d orbital bonding. So this is that distance is shorter. The reason is p by and d by bonding. So and resulting, so what will happen, so that what happens, so this bond, it shows considerable double bond character. So always single bond it will have longer distance, means that distance will be more, whereas double bond will get shorter distance. So the reason is p by d by bonding. So resulting in results in considerable double bond character. Okay, so that is the reason. The reason is p by d by bonding. So what will happen, this bond shows double bond character. Always double bond will get shorter distance than single bond. Okay, so that's all about structure of P2O3. Clear? Now we will see the structure of P4O10, that is phosphorus tetroxide. Sorry, this structure of P4O10, that is phosphorus pentoxide. Pentaoxide, okay, not tetroxide. I told tetroxide. This is pentoxide because usually P2O5 into 2 we will get P4O10. 5 means that is pentoxide. Okay. So regarding the structure of phosphorus pentoxide, so in P4O10, so each phosphorus atom form 3 bonds, there is single bond, 3 single bond to oxygen atom, and also an additional coordinate bond with an oxygen atom, coordinate bond with an oxygen atom. Okay, so this is the structure of there are 2 points are there. The first point is in P4O10 each phosphorus atom form 3 single bond to oxygen atoms, and also one more additional coordinate bond also forms. We will see the structure now. So first draw that phosphorus tetrahedral structure. There is phosphorus, here one phosphorus, here one phosphorus, then here one phosphorus. Now draw oxygen atom on the side, on the edges of the structure. Here one oxygen, here one oxygen, in between these two phosphorus one oxygen, and here one oxygen. Now make a link. So make a bond 1, 2, 3, 4, then here. Okay, now between this and this, between this and this. See, this is the structure of P2O3, already we discussed. Okay, so you know how to draw the structure of phosphorus trioxide. See here, each in P4O10 each phosphorus atom, see here there are 3 bonds, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so these 3 single bond, in addition to that This is important, very very important. In addition to that, one coordinate bond forms. Oxygen, oxygen. This is the coordinate bond. Okay. Actually, the total 10 oxygen atoms, 6 oxygen atom already it comes in P2O3. In P4O10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here 6 oxygen atom total, 10 oxygen atoms are there. Okay. So this is the structure of P4O10. So this is the coordinate bond, coordinate bond. Clear? So this is single bond, and this is called coordinate bond here. Okay. Now the bond distance, this is 160 pm, and this double bond, that is 143 pm. Okay. So that's all about the structure of P4O10. Is very easy to draw. That bond angle between these two bond, that is 123 degree. Then here the bond angle is 102 degree. Okay. Then second point, the terminal coordinate PO bond length is 143. See the terminal, this is terminal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 terminals. So terminal coordinate PO bond bond length is 143 picometer, which is less than expected the single bond distance. Single bond distance we already discussed. PO, it must come 184 picometer, but here it is shorter than the expected bond length. Okay. Actually the reason is due to the lateral overlap of filled p orbitals of an oxygen atom with empty d orbital of phosphorus atom. So there are two important points. The first point is, in P4O10, each phosphorus atom form 3 bonds to oxygen atom. See here, 1, 2, 3, 3 bonds. Also one coordinate bond. Okay. Then the terminal coordinate bond, that is PO bond, the bond length is 143 pm, which is shorter than the expected. That is reason is due to the lateral overlap of filled p orbitals of an oxygen atom with empty d orbital of phosphorus atom. Okay. So that's all about today's topic. Hope you understood well. Okay students, so thank you very much.